I just pressed the lock button on the phone there. It's awkward when you're trying to hold it like this. Anyway, oh shit, sorry. Yeah, what was I saying? 123 hours in 1 week, and that was pretty rough. Actually, it was my first one. I was going to bed at 2 in the morning, waking up at 5. Um, whether that makes 123 hours, I haven't worked out to check, but I remember that sort of being the time. Anyway, I'm sure you can comment and correct me. It's fine. Um, all I know is I was extremely tired. I crashed my car, not whilst I was in it, thankfully. I just left the handbrake off and it rolled down into the shop and hit a bollard, not the window. But they called out over the tannoy, which was embarrassing because when I got out, everyone was staring at the car, taking photos and videos. And there I was looking like a fucking zombie. Um, all I needed was some tubes. I can't even remember what I was doing in the shop, but it was a hardware store anyway. Um, yeah, so when I was at college doing my A levels for product design, I spent a long time there. I think that you're at college for maybe 8 months. So and you do 4 subjects in the first year and 3 in the second. You do more if you're smart, but no. So even though I had the other subjects, I think I averaged around 2,000 hours per year, and this is what I'm getting up to. I sort of measure it in hours, put something tangible to it. So in both years, and in the years averaged out, I probably did 2,000 hours each year in the 8 month period, and I got to what was I doing? Oh yeah, I was working very hard because I saw the opportunity to go to Loughborough, which John introduced me to. John, to put this in perspective, is like he pushes you extremely hard, loves product design, but this is like, have you seen the film? No, it might be called Chopsticks or Whiplash. Chopsticks. Whiplash, yeah. So he's like the guy in Whiplash, and you see at the end, like the very end of Whiplash, he acknowledges to the student that he's kind of like proud of what he's managed to achieve. Well, that happened kind of in my final year of university after I finished the underwater jetpack. So after 6 years of working, I heard my very first well done, I think. And it wasn't even to me. I was standing with a crowd of people, and he said, "Well done, guys." But I took that. That was good enough. First time I ever heard him say that. So, yeah. Anyway, that's John. 6 years, one well done, a load of hard work. Yeah. I'll tell you some more stories about that later. It's quite fun. Anyway, so he sort of introduced me to Loughborough. I went to see it, and it was like when I first went and saw the college, I was like, wow, this is where I have to be. They had like huge machine shops, big CNC machines, or what I thought was big at the time, cool 3D printers, really nice workshops upstairs, metal shops, and then just a big building, open space, all the computers, and then the expertise that went along with it. It was just a place that I was very drawn to, and I knew that I needed to go there. So yeah, that's where I applied. I applied there, and I didn't want to go anywhere else. So it was either that, and my other plan was then, if I didn't get in and to Loughborough, I was going to go to Monaco and take my best suit and try and become a waiter or something on a boat. I don't know. I was just going to wing it. That was my plan anyway. Thankfully, I got into Loughborough. Although I think I would have made more money quicker doing that, but that's not the point. I would have then eventually have been, I think, less satisfied, because my love for making things, that would have not allowed me to develop the necessary skills in order to make the stuff that I wanted to make anyway. So um, through uni, yeah, probably another 2,000 hours in the first year, maybe less. That year obviously is a little bit was social. Second year ramped it up, definitely more than 2,000 hours. Third year went on placement. I'll talk about that in another video. Otherwise, this is going to be extremely long. But that was then. Also after John, then my placement year was the biggest, then influential moment for me in product design. So yeah, I'll talk about that another time. Um, Definitely more than 2,000 hours then. Um, and not only so, I was working. I'd get to work. Work didn't actually know this, but what I'd do, I'd get to work at, I think it was 9 or maybe 8. I don't know. One time I turned up an hour earlier than you're supposed to be there, and I was just waiting outside. Not on the first day because I forgot. Well, I was just too excited to be there. I forgot what time it was. So anyway, didn't want to be late. Um, and I was so it was 8 or 9, and then I'd work until about 5. And what I didn't realise was that well, they didn't finish at 5. I thought I went into it with a mindset of like working a job, so it's like you're 9 till 5 and then you leave. So I was leaving at 5, and then one day my boss Nick said to me, he was like, "Why do you always leave at 5?" And I was like, "Well, that's the time you leave, isn't it? I don't know." And anyway, long story short, I then ended up working from 9 until maybe 7 or until 10. A lot of the time, and then but the reason why I was leaving work early was to go home and work on my own projects and practice the skills that I'd been learning at work, and I was trying to make some other stuff on the computer, so in order to be sold, but that never worked out. But they didn't know that at the time that I was going home to work. They just thought I was going, I don't know what they thought, maybe just going to doss around. Sometimes I did go out and do the whole social thing, but more often than not, I was working there because I didn't have the money to go out. I had €15 left per week to survive on. I did get food at work. Don't get me wrong, that was great. But after I paid the rent, then yeah, it was €60 a month, €15 a week for food, and whatever else you wanted to do. So not a huge amount. I actually then ended up a little bit malnutrition and low red blood cell count and all that rubbish. But anyway, I learned a lot there, and I'll go into that later. That taught me fantastic work ethic and the most that I ever learned about design. Put together, you could put all the years together at university. I learned the most there in just a 6-month period. So in my final year of uni, by the time I started the underwater jetpack project, I'd already done over 10,000 hours of product design. Not making things, of actually trying to learn and improve at product design. So that's what Malcolm Gladwell says. Oh, 10,000 hours is the whatever it is, the something to professionalism. I think 10,000 hours is maybe the tipping point at where you start becoming okay or competent enough at something. So since then, I should probably wrap this up, but since I started the underwater jetpack project, in 17 months, I've worked over, well, most of the days at university I was working 16-hour days. That's not including the time out for food. So I was awake obviously for a lot longer, but the time out for then food and fitness, always important to keep the mind sharp for fitness. 16-hour days, and then since then, so if you took an average on a pessimistic average, it's easy for me to say at this time, I've worked over 7,000 hours on that project alone in 17 months to get to where I am. So I kind of lost the point because I think I've been rambling for ages now. But maybe I should split this video up. I don't know. But the point is that, what's that? 5 years plus so 10,000. So I've been practicing product design for about 17,000 hours, and that's a lot of time. And that comes only by turning down a lot of other opportunities and a lot of other things and a lot of social commitments and a lot of time with your friends. And at a young age, that's extremely hard to do. But there's good reason for it. One, I enjoy it, but two, I think that that's the only way to do it if you want to get to an extremely high level, which I'll go into detail again on another video, because otherwise this is going to get way too long. So yeah, just thought I'd give you a rough overview of how I started product design, how I found out about it, where these sort of big moments were, and how long I've been doing it in a tangible amount of hours that you can understand. Now, if you got any questions, shoot me in the comments. If you want to know what specifically that I spend my time on, what areas of product design, let me know. I'll go into it, and I'm probably not one to give any advice at the moment, but if you want to know what I think is more important, what areas you should focus on, then let me know. I'm happy to answer anything, or do another video on it if it's more than just a comment. Anyway, bye for now.